Okay, so I did my research on you, right? So we'll do a little bit of an introduction. So I don't think we've been formally introduced. But my name is Josh, obviously. Nice to meet you officially, Stephanie.
Hi.
I'm just a grad student here at Texas State in the Mass Comm sort of master's degree area. A veteran of the U.S. Air Force. And to go into your background a little bit, so you were in the Army you did one enlistment, right?
No, I was Air Force and Army.
Air Force and Army.
Yeah.
Okay, I was like, I checked out your LinkedIn and I was gonna say like I don't know if everything's on there, but okay, it's
Uh,
cool.
yeah, no, I did almost 10 years and was medically retired. So,
Oh wow. Okay, and what were you also in the medical field for the Air Force as well?
yes.
Okay, cool. Let's kind of move into your position, at the VSO. What is it and what does it do?
Okay. So, the Veteran Service Officer is supposed to be able to assist you in garnering your benefits that you are duly accorded by the VA. We're kind of like the liaison between the lingo that you see online and all the jargon that goes in the backside and translating it to this is your life. What
Mm.
is going on in your life that we can either help alleviate, get you to the right resource, or get you the benefits that you need or deserve. And it, we have to explain a lot about the county veteran service office is paid for by the county, and each county should have a veteran service officer. So wherever you're at or wherever you're coming from should have somebody similar in their position. Level of training, level of experience. I don't know. Everybody's different. Some of them are in one room offices with typewriters. So we'll roll with that. We're kind of lucky that our county has three veteran service officers because Bear County, which is huge military city USA, has eight. We help with funerals. We help we try to help with getting the the older population, which there's a lot of veterans that are aging in place, and there's not a lot of resources here. There's really not. And in order to get to the grocery store, you have to be able to drive. But do you really want that 85-year-old with glaucoma driving into the grocery store every day?
Right.
No, not really.
So, given how much what's such a wide area that you and the VSO covers, um, what would you say the level of awareness of your office is in general, like putting it on a spectrum of like low, medium to high?
I would say it's like between low and medium.
Mm.
People who've lived here their whole lives are still going, there's a veteran service office? And we're like, yes.
What do you think the issue with messaging on that is? It's just you just don't know it's there at all, or
I think that unless you're at that point where you're seeking it, it's kind of that tipping point, right? You don't really need to kick the rock over until you need to kick the rock over. And then when you need the resources, then you're like, oh, there's resource. What? Right up the street, right here? This whole time? I could have done this 10 years ago.
Mhm.
So until there's a significant event or a need or whatnot, I think it kind of gets put on the back burner in most people's brains
Mhm.
that it either like the Vietnam veterans were conditioned to say like believe that they didn't deserve the benefits.
Yeah.
And then you have the Reagan administration ones that got out in peacetime and they're starting to get to that point of like retirement, and then they're going, oh yeah, I can file for benefits. And then you have your Desert Storm, Desert Shield, and your OIF, OEF. They're like, screw you guys, I'm getting my benefits now and I'm going to be done.
Hmm.
So they're kicking the rock a lot sooner than everybody else is.
Hmm.
And I don't blame them because they've watched generations upon generations get screwed out of their benefits.
So with this new with the new administration and the general feeling of like belt tightening in terms of finances and stuff like that, do you see any potential like and this is in no way any political statement at all,
Yeah.
um, but do you feel like or is there a possibility some of the services that you offer maybe limited, or is that or you guys pretty much like the people that you're serving will pretty much have a consistent experience regardless.
Well, from our office, they'll have a consistent experience. We're paid for by the county.
Mhm.
We jokingly say we're working our way out of our paychecks, anyways, because the more benefits we get to the veterans, the less taxes they have to pay.
Okay.
Right? So, from the county perspective, until we level, I think we level off. But I mean, we're consistently busy,
Okay.
and we stay that way. And we stay involved in the communities. We're outreach and dripping Buda, Kyle, locally. That we keep just doing the small things. People will keep coming and needing us, but we are already seeing like stuff being affected from the federal level, and not necessarily from the VA. Just all those programs that were grant funded, rental assistance, housing assistance, food assistance, things like that, that some of our veterans were relying on
Hmm.
as instead of being stable, they were relying on those programs, and it's starting to show like the need, the how much people were relying on that is starting to become evident.
Okay. Interesting.
So
Interesting.
just today alone, I helped two people who were displaced. We don't have a shelter here,
Ah.
right? The county doesn't have a shelter, and both of them were in need of assistance. Two different people. That's why I was like the bizarre phone calls today, and I was having to go through the list of what we know because we keep lists and resource flyers, and we have just like reams if we printed everything out of information. So just in house, we have Hope for Hayes, which is our grant program from Texas Veterans Commission. And according to the numbers that Amanda, who's our director over that, sent, our fiscal cycle ends in July. And we are probably 70% spent on it already.
Wow.
That's bad.
For
That's
February?
yeah,
Yeah.
that's bad. No, that was as of December.
Oh wow. Oh geez. Okay.
So because we're still processing January and February.
Yeah. Wow.
That was as of December. We were at 70%.
Wow.
So that's an in-house program that's paid for. That is a grant through Texas Veterans Commission, which is paid for through the Texas Lottery.
Mm.
Um, so we're not too concerned about that program. I can see more people leaning into it if these other programs are federally grant funded and need to stabilize. Um, but we work, we're with the Homeless Coalition. We work with the VA for HUD-VASH. Um, we work locally with the AMVETS, the VFW. Uh, the I'm working with the food bank, and then I don't know. I'm on. We've got the Veterans Affairs Alliance Committee for the city, and then they were trying to start one up for the county, but I'm not. When you're picking your own ponies and they're not volunteers. It's kind of weird. Um,
So, so with that, if let's say if um, one of our Texas State Bobcats, VATS member, or in particular, comes to, well, I mean, you were to say like, well, I'm having a little trouble making ends meet in terms of like a place to live. Like, what resources would you direct that particular?
so that immediate redirect right there is first off, if you are a student, are you getting your BH? Like that immediately, like why aren't you getting your pay for that? We have had students that have come here because they were sleeping in their cars and weren't aware that they were supposed to be getting that.
Yeah,
And but for for that, we have the homeless hotline through the VA, and we have a process that the South Side is our intake personnel, and they go. We help them contact the VA, and we get them make sure they get to the right VA because sometimes it sends us to San Antonio, and those that's not our area.
but yeah, with that being said, two questions, and the first is, does utilizing this at your office cost anything? And the second thing is contact information. Where should Texas State students go to get in contact with you for maybe?
Okay, so no, it does not cost anything to utilize our office. But a job well done, maybe a taco. We're
Hey,
down for tacos. But no, I'm kidding. Not really. The the other thing is that you can contact us through Veteran Services at. Let me make sure I have this email right because they recently changed our domain,
uh,
and you know how that goes.
oh yeah, I pulled some of that basic information off there. So I'll let you tell me if it's incorrect,
I think it's Veteran Services at HayesCountyTX.gov.
which that's what I have. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, they changed the at part, so I'm still getting used to that because all our business cards don't say that.
Oh yeah, that could be a little confusing.
So if they email there or they call the office at 512-392-8387, leave a voicemail.
Okay.
Don't just call and hang up. Leave a voicemail. Because they're like, I called that office 100 times.
Is there a callback number? Yeah.
Leave a voicemail.
Oh, okay. Perfect.
Because we get spam calls too.
Uh-huh.
So if yeah, plus also if one person's on the phone and then they call in, they can't. We only
Oh,
have one admin,
yeah. Okay. Yeah.
so they're like, I called 20 times today, and he had 50 phone calls yesterday,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Only
So
right.
leave a voicemail.
Okay. Sweet. All right. And you guys are still at the historic Hayes County Courthouse. Is that
Yep.
correct?
Go to everybody's favorite part of town, and downhill.
Downhill. I love the sound of that. Anything uphill, I'm not into.
Yeah.
Uh,
They used to have us come up to the university, and I would just look up the hill and go, okay, I can do this. I can do this. I'm not losing my parking spot down here.
I do not blame you at all. Well, with that being said, I know you got a busy day still ahead of you, which is remarkable. I think you're an incredible person just with everything that you've accomplished from education to volunteer work to what you're doing currently for veterans, and what you will continue to do. I thank you so much for taking the time to meet with me.